Hello, welcome back to the Basketball Soapbox. I'm your host, Daniel Daly. And in this one, we're going to be talking about the Western Conference All-Stars in the NBA. If you want to see the Eastern Conference All-Stars and how I went about that, I'm going to point up here into the corner. There should be a link extending to that. As we get into the Western Conference, there's been a bunch of injuries to a lot of star players. Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Anthony Davis especially, Damian Lillard, Steph Curry. Multiple guys have been in and out of the lineups, but the Western Conference has still been entertaining. Guys stepping up huge. A lot of selections here and a lot of difficulty of picking, should I go with winning or players who are playing at a high level. That has been a very big discussion, especially every year in all-star selections, right? You're going to have some guys that are playing out of their mind, playing up to a different level than they're usually playing to, and guys that have really just turned the corner on their career, stepping up. And that's the case here, especially getting into the Western Conference. As we get into the starting at the point guard, there was so many choices here. Steph Curry has been out. Damian Lillard has been out. That has helped me in this decision a little bit here. I would have went John Morant here, but I decided to reward a guy who I think has been on everybody's radar this year and has been playing phenomenal, and that is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander at 30 points a game, nearly 6 assists and nearly 5 rebounds a game at 50%, 35, and 91 splits. This guy has been phenomenal, especially in his two-game, getting to the basket and scoring inside the paint, and scoring inside the three-point arc. He's able to make the shot just enough on the three-point line, and to make guys gamble and go out there and try to contest it. But he's phenomenal inside the paint. He has been phenomenal for the OKC Thunder, who are supposed to be rebuilding, still finding a way to win games, be competitive, and that is a very scary young group on the rise, and SGA is a part of that. Sam Presti had him basically untouchable in trade offers and stuff like that. He would not flat out trade him. And this is the reason why. I was sitting there, I was like, there's been rumors of the Knicks. I was saying instantly Toronto should get this guy. This guy's from Canada, be a nice marketing tool, whatever the case may be. But that team really needed a guy who can play maker and score from the perimeter and be a difference maker on that end. And we see why OKC didn't trade him. We see why OKC's holding on to him for dear life. He's basically their guy, their franchise now. And now you just think about the potential of Chet Holmgren coming back, where they're going to fall in the lottery, whatever the case may be. But SGA has been phenomenal this season, playing at a high level. And because of that, I believe the Thunder are, 20 and 23, I believe. If I look here for a minute, give me a second. But, yeah, they have been phenomenal. I believe they are 20 and 23. Have they won that many games? Oh, come on now. ESPN app wants to say that. Yep, 20 and 23. They have been that, and SGA has been a part of that. And to even be flirting with the play-in with their roster is a lot because of SGA, and I think he should start because of that. Moving on to the guard position, probably the MVP of the league, and especially in the Western Conference next to a couple other guys, but Luka Doncic, playing phenomenal, putting up points that we haven't seen since Michael Jordan, James Harden, in terms of stretches. This guy is 33.8 points per game, 8.8 assists, 8.9 rebounds on 49, 35, and 72 splits there. Could get that free throw percentage up, but he's carrying a lot of the offensive load there in Dallas. And he's the only reason why Dallas is relevant. Trying to find guys to play around him with Christian Wood and Tim Hardaway Jr., Spencer Dinwiddie, but Luka Doncic is the driving force of that team so far this year and has been the franchise player probably in the Western Conference that has been the token in terms of high-level play and MVP numbers. We saw the triple-double against the Knicks with the 60, 20, and 10 game. Just phenomenal player, athlete, should be in the starting lineup in the All-Star game. Pretty much plain and simple. Like, this guy's phenomenal. Luka's changing the game with his play. And I've always called him James Harden a little bit 2.0. I think he plays exactly like Harden with the step backs and getting to the basket and using his body and basically being an offensive dynamo that you can build your team around with shooters and spacing and stuff like that. Of course, Dallas, get him some help. That's the first thing. Dallas, get him some fucking help. That's the first thing with Luka Doncic. He definitely needs some help. But he's playing phenomenal. Of course, he's going to be in the MVP discussion and should be going to the All-Star game as a starter. Moving on to small forward, we got LeBron James playing into this, putting up great numbers, 29 points per game, 6.8 assists, 8.4 rebounds, 50% from the field, 28% from three. He should not be shooting the three this year. 74% from the line. But LeBron James playing at a great level in terms of his age and where he's at in his career. And this Charles Barkley calls this a lifetime achievement award when guys put up great numbers and the team sucks. Whatever the case may be, LeBron James is one of the best players ever to play the game. And to see him continuously play this way, being able to have those performances like he did in Atlanta when he put up 47 points against them, to continue to see that from LeBron and him play at a high level. And he's not going to have it every night. We know that he's not going to be that guy, the number one guy, but to still show flashes of that, to still be consistent in that way a little bit there, to do that for the Lakers at this point in time, you got to respect him for what he's doing. Another starter that should be in consideration here, Lauri Markkanen, 24.6 points per game, 1.9 assists, 8.6 rebounds, 50, 40, 87 splits there at the bottom there. A guy that was traded from Cleveland to Utah on the Donovan Mitchell trade, and everybody was like, oh, Cleveland got a really good pick. But Utah actually got a really good player, and this guy has come out and has been able to score nearly 25 a game. I call him Tom Chambers 2.0. I'm going to continue to call him that, not just because he's white, but mainly because he's white, same size. They dunk on people. He's shooting from the perimeter. He's a very good player. And he's showing that in Utah, and I think rewarding. He should be in that position to go to represent Utah in Salt Lake at the All-Star game in Utah. I think he should be able to do that. I think he should be the starter in the Western Conference. Anthony Davis was hurt here. And I really don't know who else to put here in the Western Conference. Unless you're considering Draymond Green for whatever reason, Jeremy Grant or Aaron Gordon. Those are the considerations there in terms of backups I should get into when I get to that. But Lauri Markkanen and Anthony Davis would have been in the spot if he was healthy. But Lauri Markkanen is playing phenomenal and should get the nod there. And no question, I think consideration people, a person that's in consideration for his third MVP in a row, a guy that's been phenomenal for the Denver Nuggets, Nikola Jokic, nearly 25 points, nearly 10 assists, 11 rebounds, 62, 37, 81 splits. What is there to say about this guy? He's playing at a different level right now, especially at the center position that we have never seen, especially playmaking-wise from a guy that should be either a scorer or defender that has been historically the blueprint for the center position. This guy is doing it as a point center, setting up things for Denver at every which way, bringing the ball up, passing the ball in post, low post, high post, setting up the offense, scoring from three levels of the floor, doing it efficiently, doing it the way he is for Denver as their number one in the Western Conference. He is playing phenomenal. There's nothing I can say about this guy. There's not enough I can say about the way Joker plays. I love watching him play out there. The way that he just controls everything with his pace and his touch and his IQ. He's playing phenomenal. He should be the starter. He's playing phenomenal. There's not enough you can say about this guy, and especially playing for Denver. He's rubbing off on Aaron Gordon. You see him getting Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. back into things. The way he's playing right now is you think about peaks of players of how they play. Like, this guy's playing phenomenal, and especially being a second-round pick from Serbia, all the stuff that goes into it, to see him continue to play like this for Denver is awesome. It's just awesome. Flat out awesome. Flat out awesome. But as we get into the Western Conference reserves, a couple name stays here that are going to stand out. A couple guys that I was considering putting in there. And it's going to be crowded because I think there's a lot of guys that deserve consideration that should be there. But let's get to the guards here. Steph Curry, probably the best player on the floor before he got injured and went down there for a little bit there for Golden State. But what is there to say about Steph Curry? He's still playing phenomenal. When he's on the court for the Golden State Warriors, good things happen, and we'll see if he can be able to turn it around. Second, I got John Morant leading the second in the conference, Memphis Grizzlies. Probably the most exciting player in the NBA, especially when he's driving to the basket and finishing over guys like he had a big dunk today. I forgot who was on. Damn, getting old. But yeah, he had a huge dunk over. I can't remember. Was it Indiana? Jalen Smith in Indiana. There we go. Had a big dunk banger on him and just leading that Memphis Grizzlies. He ran into a little trouble with a little smack talk there, but I don't mind it. Talk your shit, John Morant. Be that guy that's talking not avoiding any smoke, basically. Talk your trash, get out there and go after guys. And I like that. I respect that from him. People saying he shouldn't have said that, but that's why he's one of the best players in the NBA. Got a signature shoe. Got to respect him, and he's going to be at the All-Star game for sure. Devin Booker, when he gets back, hopefully he's able to get back and put it together so he's not out of that running. He's playing phenomenal. Just has to beat Luka Doncic. I think that's the only thing that stands in his way right now in terms of what he's able to do. But the Suns are struggling, and that's a big downer for them. But hopefully he comes back soon and is able to help them. Also, De'Aaron Fox has been playing phenomenal for the Sacramento Kings, who are 4th in the Western Conference. The Kings, yes, the Kings, who have not been to the NBA playoffs since 2006, I think, against Seattle. To see them even have a chance to get to the playoffs, the Kings actually doing that, light the beam up. De'Aaron Fox is a big part of that. Going into the forward spots, we got Zion Williamson and Anthony Davis. Zion Williamson, what is there to say about him? Especially when he's healthy, he has been phenomenal. Really leading the charge there in New Orleans with CJ McCollum and Brandon Ingram. Hopefully Brandon Ingram gets back as well. I'll talk about that. But Zion is Zion. He is as advertised. When he's playing, he's big time, making dunks, doing steals, big energy plays. Hopefully he's able to be healthy and get back on the court for New Orleans and pay big dividends for them. As we move for Anthony Davis, had that real big stretch there where he was a man amongst boys. Really stopped shooting the jumper, really started going to the basket and finishing and playing tough and playing inside, really being the Anthony Davis that we all thought he can be and think he can be. Unfortunately, out for a while, but I think there's a consideration if he can come back just in time to get there. I think that would be awesome for him, and hopefully he can come back healthy because when he's playing well, it's better for the league. Moving on to the center position, Domantas Sobonis, who was a triple-double threat from the center position, which I will call probably just a lower level than Joker at that point in time in terms of passing and playmaking and stuff like that, really making his daddy proud, playing phenomenal for Sacramento. Again, they're in 4th place in the Western Conference. He is playing phenomenal, and there's not enough I can say about him because I liked when he got drafted, I think, by Orlando, and then they traded him to OKC in that trade, and then rapidly they traded him to Indiana, and then Indiana made the choice between him and Miles Turner. I think they picked defense over offense at that point in time. A trade that worked out for both sides for Sacramento and Indiana. But in terms of what he brings to Sacramento, he has been phenomenal. I think he's playing through a broken thumb at this point in time as well. Kudos to him playing out there. And DeAndre in numbers has went up without Devin Booker, but he is playing well. And I've always wanted more from DeAndre, and I thought he can be that guy that can be aggressive, a strong number 2 guy next to Devin Booker there. And it just seems like despite having a good overall showing the past couple of weeks without Devin Booker, just not enough for the Suns. The Suns are struggling, but I think he should be in consideration for that as well. Moving on to honorable consideration. Honorable mention that should be in there. Damian Lillard in Portland, he has come back. He's always going to be in the conversation of that. Should be in that guard spot, consider-wise. Hopefully he can turn around Portland because Portland has been struggling a little bit. CJ McCollum, there's nothing that I can say about this guy besides he's a professional scorer and just ultimate pro for New Orleans. You can see the veteran leadership rubbing off on these guys down there and able to lead through adversity with guys being in and out, especially Brandon Ingram missing time lately. CJ has been awesome for the Pelicans this year, and hopefully he can stay healthy. Hopefully that team can get healthy and can really see what they do. They're going to be scary come playoff time. Anthony Edwards in Minnesota has really been putting it together without Karl Anthony Towns. Has been really leading the charge. I think they had a big win over Cleveland tonight. He should be in consideration for that. I think that his play, especially the way he's able to explode and be able to take over games, he should be considered for that. Andrew Wiggins in Golden State had a very nice showing before he went down. Hopefully he can come back and be in that conversation as well. Basically being the second best player on Golden State, in my opinion, the way he was playing before he went down. Now we'll see if Curry's back. We'll see if Wiggins can get back. We'll see if this team can get back into form and turn things around for this season. Brandon Ingram has been out for a while. He had a concussion, I believe, and now he has a toe injury. I don't know what's going on with that. He's been out for a while. Hopefully he can come back and get back on that tier that he was when he was healthy there playing in New Orleans. We'll see what happens there. And finally, Jersmi Grant. I think he's a nice player in Portland, 20-6, playing really big for Portland, even though they're struggling right now. Another consideration is Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon has been playing really well, especially on the defensive end next to Joker. Really elevating his offense has been coming along in these couple of games. But yeah, the Western Conference has been in a state of flux, of course, because of injuries and stuff like that. Tough decisions here. You can always consider more. This is the final showing here. Yeah, but it's just difficult to see what put players in there, and especially with health. We'll see what happens when they turn things around. Hopefully, these guys can get healthy and we can get a more clearer picture as we get to the All-Star break. Here with this, multiple teams, multiple guys out. Desmond Bane is also another guy that could have been in consideration as a reserve here. The way he was playing, averaging 25 points a game. Anthony Davis, of course. Karl Anthony Towns, you know his trajectory, what would have happened. Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, if they were healthy, we'll see what they would have been able to do. Yeah, just a bunch of players out for right now in the Western Conference, which is a shame because there's so much talent in the league and so many guys that can do so many various things. And to see everything come down to injury in the Western Conference and Eastern Conference, that has been unfortunate. That has been unfortunate. But still guys playing at a high level that should be consideration for the All-Star game, especially as starters and reserves. We'll see if these things can turn around in the next couple of weeks and see if guys can make it, come back, and continue to produce for their teams. But that will do it for my Western Conference picks. Until next time.